I have to say, being in the NFL for 7 years got me ready for Hollywood. It did. You have to learn how to take a punch. Hi, I'm Terry Crews, and this is the timeline of my career. My transition into acting was one of necessity. I had moved out to LA to get behind the scenes in entertainment and went broke. I was out here for about 2 years, and about a year and a half in, we ran out of everything. And my wife was like, you need a job. So I literally started sweeping floors. I started doing security. One day when I was bouncing, a friend of mine who came through this bar in Burbank where I was working, he said, hey man, there's an audition going on for this new show. I think you'd be great for it. It was my first audition ever. Never did anything before that. And it was a show called Battle Dome. I went, did a great job, went back home, and 6 months later, I was still working. Nobody called me. There was a callback. 6 months after I did the first audition. Lo and behold, they call me back for another callback. I go back to this callback. This time, I try it again. I do all my stuff. And then 3 months later, 9 months after my first audition, they call me in and give me the job. It's a TV show called Battle Dome. And what it was like American Gladiators on steroids. I mean, it was a sports show, game show. The contestants would come on the show and we would basically beat the living daylights out of them. There's been nothing like it ever since because I got sued 3 times. There was this huge door that they would use and it would open the doors of the Battle Dome stage and I would come out. And every time right before that door opened, I thought I was going to die. I was so nervous, so scared, my stomach, I'm gonna throw up. But all of a sudden, when the doors open and I walked down into the stage area, all of a sudden, the people, the screaming, the shouting, it was like, this is my thing. I got into it because I had to. And it's so funny, I do the same thing now with AGT. There's this door, but I don't feel like throwing up. I feel really good, and the door opens up, and they say, your host, Terry Crews. It really lets you know that you can grow, and you can learn, and life is never static. It's always moving.
You got business here, rookie?
When I did security, I worked for a location manager, the same location manager who did Training Day. And he said, hey man, we got this movie we're doing with Denzel Washington. You wanna go down and check it out, it's in LA. And I said, yeah, I would love to go see. And I went down there to hang out, and the director, Antoine Fuqua, came over to me and said, hey, you wanna be in this movie? Now he didn't even know I was an actor, he didn't even know what I was doing, it was crazy. I said, yeah, he said, take your shirt off, go up to the roof. And I'm the guy that's basically flipping pigeons in Training Day. And what happened was I came back every day for 2 weeks while they were shooting that scene, and he would place me in different spots. And I didn't get any money. I was just an extra, and I ended up in one of the most iconic scenes in movie history. And you gotta understand, I was happy. For me, doing Training Day, it helped me realize that I had to do everything for the love. I didn't get any money for Training Day, but it was so satisfying. I'm part of something bigger than myself. This story is so important and so incredible. I would do it for free.
Pardon me. Santa must have come early this year, because you were first on my Christmas list.
Woo, there it is right there.
I gotta tell you about the day I got White Chicks. I actually have it down in my Franklin planner. Back in the day, that was 2003. I had an audition for my wife and kids that morning, and I bombed it. I had the paper in my hand, and I was reading the sides, and they were shaking, and you could see all the executives and all the Wayne, Damon, and all the people, they were like, oh, he really messing up. And I just said, forget it. Like, I knew I bombed it. I got in the car, and my agent told me, he said, hey man, you gotta go across town there's this movie called White Chicks, so you got to go meet Keenen Ivory Wayans. And I was like, okay, I'll go do this movie and see, and go do the audition for the movie. It might not pick me, whatever. I went in there, and I didn't care anymore. I was just going and being free and whatever, and Keenen was like, you're in! When White Chicks came out, I started to get that, hey, you're the guy from White Chicks. It's funny, I still get that. Like, you're the guy from White Chicks. It was a big adjustment for me becoming famous because I didn't know where my boundaries were. We would be out with my family and people would come up to me and they were like, I want an autograph. I was like, yeah, sure. And my kids were like, but Dad, we're eating. I was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. And I would sit there for an hour and sign autographs while my family was sitting there. And my wife was like, honey, hey, woo, we're here. And I was like, just let me do 4 more autographs. This will be okay. And I would do this everywhere we went. And finally, my wife was like, we're not going out with you anymore. I was like, what? She said, you sat there and you signed autographs with the whole restaurant. This is crazy. And I said, but babe, it's my job. I have to do this. I mean, they're hiring me. This is what they're doing. She said, no, they're not. She said, you are with us. And when you're with us, you need to stay with us. And then I realized something. She was right. And I had to start exercising a no. And that was the big part about fame, because you realize, do I owe them an autograph? And the reality is, I didn't. And the reality is, who did I owe? I owed my family my time.
I knew you couldn't resist my shit. I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... I just got burgers.
I'm all right, thank you.
Adam went and saw White Chicks and loved it. Adam saw White Chicks several times in the theater. I had already auditioned for The Longest Yard in several different roles and didn't get it. And then I get a call at my house, and it's Adam Sandler himself. And he's like, Terry, I saw White Chicks. I love what you did. In fact, I loved it. I kept watching it. He said, man, look, we want you to play Cheeseburger Eddie. And that began the relationship between me and Adam Sandler. And we've done probably 10 different projects together. Adam Sandler has been basically a benefactor of my career. And I like to call Keenen Ivory Wayans, he's the one that started my career, but Adam Sandler actually gave me a career, for real. From Blended to Ridiculous Six to Click. I love this man, he's my big brother.
Isn't this fun?
What is this stuff anyway?
Asbestos. We're gonna save a lot of money on heat this year.
I wanted to keep doing movies. I'm a movie star. This is what I do. And my wife came back to me again. She said, honey, television is very, very good. She said, you need to get on a really good TV show. Not some crap, but just some good stuff. And I came back from doing The Longest Yard. We were doing a promotional tour, and we actually went to the Super Bowl with Chris Rock and Adam Sandler. And Chris told me on the way back to the car after the Super Bowl, he said, I got something for you. I got something for you. And I was like, whoa. He said, no, I got something. And I go home and there's a script. And literally the next day, there's a script messengered to my house. You know, now they email it. I'm trying to tell you how old that was. You know what I mean? Like, it was pre-email. Oh man, I'm telling my age. Everybody Hates Chris. And I crack up at the title, because Everybody Loves Raymond was a very, very popular show at the time. And I went, Everybody Hates Chris, that's funny. And I never stopped laughing until I hit the last page. It turns out I was the first guy hired to play Chris Rock's dad. I'm the only guy that's named after his actual dad, Julius. Chris Rock actually dedicates his comedic career to his father. I'm honored beyond belief. And Chris Rock is one of the greatest comedians of our time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America! President Camacho! Shut up! Sit your monkey ass down. Chill out.
What was wild is I auditioned for Idiocracy probably 10 times. 10. And when I finally got the job, everyone was just like, man, this is going to be a career maker. This is going to be it. And it bombed so bad. I got to tell you, this business, a lot of heartache. Years later, it was almost 10 years after the movie came out, Idiocracy, I was getting all these messages from major stars. Will Ferrell, one of the few interactions I've ever had with Will, he came up to me and he said, President Camacho, genius. And I was like, what? Will Ferrell liked my performance in that movie. You know, one of the comedic gods, to be honest with you. I never forget when Time Magazine called me back in 2016 about the election. And they were like, do you think it's becoming Idiocracy? I'm like, this is Time Magazine asking me about this stuff. That's when I knew the influence that movies and entertainment has on the whole world. Like everything you do, it just doesn't go away. It actually just grows and grows and grows.
You know, the enemy's always been terrified of noise, especially shotguns. With this big boy spitting out 250 rounds a minute, you tell me who's tolerating that.
I was the fourth choice in the Expendables movie series. The first choice was 50 Cent. And then Forrest Whitaker came on, but then he had to drop out because he had another commitment. He was trying to go to Wesley Snipes, but Wesley Snipes was not able to because he was serving his time for his tax stuff. And then they came to me. Now, first of all, I don't mind at all. Hey, look, you finished fourth in the Olympics, you're still better than 20,000 other people. It started my whole action movie thing. We did 3 Expendables movies, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I was acting next to Harrison Ford. This is crazy. By the time I was doing Expendables, you understand that all these stars want you to bring your A game. When I was in the NFL, you were hitting your heroes, people that you grew up watching, and you're like, but you gotta hit them in the face. You know, and you realize that these guys don't want you to take it easy on them either, because they know that they want to get better too. And so I decided, you know what? Even if you are a fan or starstruck by somebody, you gotta bring your A game every time. Give them the challenge that they're seeking. And I learned to do that a long time ago, which is really good. Expendables was awesome in that way.
When you're a cruise all the way from the set to the family. It's work every day.
You know, I got an offer to do a reality show called The Family Cruise for BET with my family. And what was crazy about that is that everyone didn't want me to do it. At the time, reality TV was viewed as you were on the way out. There were several actors and actresses who had reality shows that were on the tail ends of their career. And my agent was like, dude, you do this. This is the end for you. It's over. And I said, you know what? Then let it in. I said, let's try it. I want to be a guinea pig. I want to do everything. And so I tried it. And what was crazy is my wife was like, no, I don't want these cameras in my house. The day before they were supposed to come, my wife was like, I'm out. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. And I said, okay, I'll call them. I'll tell them, don't bring the cameras, but I want you to know that you're probably going to regret this for the rest of your life. And she was like, damn you, okay. And I was like, hey, I'm just saying, turns out when those cameras got there, my wife couldn't get enough. She was like, where are my cameras at? I was like, hey, whoa, what about me? She was like, nah, it's my light. This is my light. Excuse me, not your scene. You go over there. And she loved it. And what I have now are the most deluxe home movies of all time. I'm serious. I'm watching my son grow up. My son's first day of school was the first episode of our reality show, and he's 14 right now. We can always watch it together. We always look at it, we go, we're so glad we did it.
Please, Sarge, just come. Do it for me. Do it for love.
Damn, Jake. You know Terry loves love. I'm in.
All right. Now put on your phoniest smile, because we're going into the belly of the beast.
I met with Dan Gore and Mike Shore before even Andy Samberg was involved. It was untitled cop pilot comedy. And I met with these guys, and they were like, dude, you know, we really like you, that we like Idiocracy. Idiocracy is really good. And I was like, oh, thank you guys, I like it. And I knew that they had worked on The Office, and I knew that they had done Parks and Rec, which was one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. And all of a sudden, the things start coming together. But what was weird is that I had 2 other offers for other shows. And Mike and Dan Gore called me up out of nowhere. They knew that I had these offers, and I was like, you know, hey guys, you know, I got a lot coming, you know, lots boiling, you know. And they were like, okay, yeah, we understand that. So we just want you to know that your character, we named him Terry. So you're gonna feel real bad if somebody else takes this job, and you'll always know it was meant for you. Did you see the trick I did on my wife to do the reality show? They did on me. Damn you! Damn you, Dan Gore! In the car on the way home, I said, I'm in. And lo and behold, here we are on top of season 7, February 6th, debuts Brooklyn Nine-Nine, season 7. And we already got picked up for season 8. So this is nuts. This is nuts. I am living the dream in so many ways.
Superpowers?
I can distort electrical fields, including the one inside your brain, causing anxiety, confusion, pain.
Deadpool 2. We trolled the whole world. You gotta understand, I got a call from David Leitch, the director, and Ryan Reynolds, and they're like, hey man, we're gonna fool all these fanboys. Because you gotta understand what the fanboys do. They wanna spoil everything. They want to tell you the secrets. We already figured that out. Somebody's got a blog where they're like, I got the secret. We got the pictures. So, Ryan Reynolds in all his glory and David Leitch, director extreme and premiere, put together a whole scheme that we would set up the whole world as X-Force. And featuring Terry and this group of all these ragtag heroes who were gonna do all this stuff. And we even filmed stuff that we knew would never be in the movie. Oh, it hurt. I was watching it like, oh, they're gonna be so hurt. And when the movie came out, I'll never forget sitting in the premiere in New York. And I was sitting there and I watched as all these faces were like, no! And you could hear it in the audience. They're like, whoa, no! And each one of us died in the movie as soon as we were introduced, literally. And Ryan and I and all of us had the biggest laugh. And we got to know that, hey, guess what? You still gotta go see the movie. But this is the thing, you gotta, if you ever watch the movie, I really am not dead. They're on the ground, basically giving me this electric shock, but I'm not dead. Anything can happen. You know, years ago, I hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And I hosted it 197 episodes of daytime Millionaire while I was doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now you have to understand this too. I was shooting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on the East Coast and shooting Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the West Coast. But I wanted to learn how to host. I wanted to learn how to be that guy, how to interact with people, how to really connect. It was literally the best way to do it. I got to really, really go at it and talk to people and find out who they were and also all the while playing a game. So Millionaire was the beginning. And I ended up hosting another show called World's Funniest Fails. I was hosted the 1000th episode of Cops. I was hosting the TV Land Awards. Any opportunity to be a host I took, because first thing you see when you see me, you know, a 240-pound giant muscular guy, you think host, right? Right, nobody thought that. So I had to show them. I had to show them my willingness, what I wanted to do. And when I got the call, I'll never forget, I was in the kitchen and my agent, Andrew Lear from UTA, called me. He said, Terry, they have a spinoff of America's Got Talent called The Champions. They want you to host it. And I was like, what? I love America's Got Talent. You got to understand, my whole family had been watching America's Got Talent for years. And they were like, look, you are going to host this spinoff for NBC called The Champions. And it's going to be like the Olympics of talent. And my God, it was a dream come true. And you got to understand, when I did Millionaire, I only did 1 year because they didn't invite me back. And I was hurt. I was like, oh, maybe I didn't do something right. But it was not up to my control. And I was just thinking, oh, well. But one thing I realized is that you have to look at your failures as things that were not meant to be there. Like, there's no way AGT can come if another job is in the way. So I began to look at it like the things that that things that go away or are canceled or whatever, it's so that what's better can come. That's the way I started to reframe it. Now, it might be a lot, but that's the way I started to frame it. In high school, my mother was very, very strict. She would not let me listen to secular music. She wouldn't let us dance. She wouldn't let us go to the movies. Everything I do now, I was not allowed to do as a little boy. I wanted to do talent shows. And she said, Terry, no. I'm not going to ask you shaking your butt and the whole thing. I said, well, can I host it? Can I host it? She said, okay. I hosted my high school talent show, not knowing that would be the dream. That is the destiny, that I would end up hosting the world's biggest, greatest talent show. I'm telling you, it started there. And I did it for free then, and I do it for free now. I truly am the most grateful man in the world. I am living a very wild roller coaster of a life, but I realize now that the dips are just as important as the highs. And you need to feel all of it, you need to enjoy all of it, and you need to know that it's all necessary in the grand scheme of things.